Hi everyone, and welcome to our video today. This is Pamela from Joint Hands Green Life Trees. We are once more at Kengariso at Mama Fred's house, and we are going to update you on the progress that has been here. We came to do something, but before we continue, here is John.
Thank you, Pam, for that. Hi, guys. I hope this finds you well. We are coming to you from Kengariso village, standing right at Mama Fred's yard, and you can see her house there with nothing in front. It is all clear, an indication that she ultimately brought down the wall that she had erected there. And I think that decision was informed by the many reactions and responses that we got from various quarters. And considering that this YouTube family was handy in seeing that that beautiful house stands there, we consider every voice and every opinion. So we found it wise to bring, to listen to every opinion. And Mama Fred, we've just been in discussions with her. She told us that she did this for a purpose, and we'll get to discuss that purpose.
Yeah.
But just before we get into all that, we are standing right before the entrance here. As you recall, we had proposed that this becomes the gate. Initially, we had also thought of a chain link before other things happened that impeded the progress of what we intended to achieve. And as such, we settled for a barbed wire, as you can see it. And it still stands firm over there. And to either side, if you check on this other side, it is standing strong. And so the only formal entrance is this point at which we are standing. But the reason why we do not yet have a road leading right in front of here is because if I turn this way, standing facing the house, turning my back against the gate, you can see that there is still a lot of corn. But it is dry and good to be harvested. And we were told that
She
the
said
owner...
that the owner will be coming tomorrow, Saturday, to harvest it, so
Okay.
that this place remains clear, and
Yeah.
then we can make maybe a driveway or a walkway from the main road to her compound.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we are a driveway, a walkway. I think we'll do a driveway so that it can serve both purposes. Because if we do a small entrance, sometimes if you'd want to bring in anything using a vehicle, it might be a problem. You remember there's still a lot of work ongoing here, and there are materials that will be brought over, and you would need a road that vehicles can access. And I still do not know the state of, I'm going to check the state of that furrow between the road and the farm.
And the farm.
There could be a trench, especially considering that this type of soil is easily eroded. There could be a gully in between. And so if there is a gully, we could as well reach to a point of thinking construction of a culvert or anything that can serve the purpose to see that we can easily access this home from the farm. And so the space that we'll have lost here will be substituted with the other side where we had the other road, the previous entrance.
The previous entrance.
Yeah, we're going to close it up because again we can't have it there doing nothing. So the next time she'll be cultivating this farm, that will be part of the farm. She'll have to cultivate it. And let me also say that we've had good talks with her.
Yeah.
And as we speak, by all indications, she's very positive about what we would want to do.
She is, and she told me that somebody called her and
Yeah,
told her to remove the structure that was there,
yeah.
that it was hiding the beauty of her house that she was built for.
And that it was also posing danger.
And it was also posing danger, and as she also saw, the wall was already shaking, And she's telling me that she was also worried that maybe it could have fallen onto one of his children or on anything. So she also saw that it was dangerous. So and she wanted to be done in a different way, but she's told us the reason as to why she wants that place secured as she did.
Yeah, she said it is necessary.
Yes.
Okay, I also queried to understand the necessity of the wall
Yes.
from her perspective, because I didn't want to make conclusions. So from her perspective is that the wall was necessary for the fact that sometimes she might want that when chickens want to lay eggs, they can lay within the enclosure.
The enclosure.
And she
yes.
wanted a case in which she can lock, once she locks the entrance into the inner court, animals are left outside.
Outside, yes, and the children should not be getting outside towards the borehole.
Yeah, towards the borehole, so
Yes.
that they are always in there and playing in there.
Yeah.
And sometimes if she's held up, she can leave them secured inside the inner court as she attends to other duties, perhaps in the farm or so.
Yeah.
We've had a good discussion with her, and so perhaps that is what the next thing we are moving to.
And being that she's living in this compound, in this yard all alone, she has her own fears.
Yeah.
Because she's told us that around this area there's a lot of security issues around here. So she wants to feel very much protected while in the compound all alone.
Yeah, and she also said that malicious people usually plan their things late in the night.
Yeah.
And late in the night, she should be within the inner court, in which nobody can easily break in and get into the house, or sometimes she would want to be close enough to the livestock, such that anything that happens, because of the cattle rustling that we keep hearing about, and she only has one heifer that has calved, so if she loses that, she'll have lost just a lot. So she wants all that to be close enough and secured enough that whatever happens, she feels some sense of security. So we are intending to put up a gate here. We've nearly run out of, you remember in our initial budget we were to do the barbed wire and the chain link, and we had not budgeted for a gate. So the little resources that I think we are left with, a few funds that we would have wanted to channel towards the gate. But again, the gate, since we are not budgeted for it, I think the funds that are there may not be adequate. I don't know how adequate, but this gate, because we want to do a bamboo gate, and I think we are short of some funds. Is it?
If it's a bamboo gate, then we'll have to do a budget for it.
Yeah.
But I think we should just work with whatever we have.
We'll kick off the process
with
whatever
whatever we have.
Yeah.
And I think we just have to work with whatever we have, so that we don't create any pressure, as in wasting a lot of time, things like that.
Yeah, and having to wait.
And having to wait, just as the chain link issue.
Yeah.
We are going to work with whatever we have.
Yeah, I think we'll kick it off. We'll kick it off, and whatever we have, we will use it to achieve the kind of gate that we might have. But more readily, I think it is easier, much more affordable to do a bamboo gate, and that is what we'll have for her. It will be a two-way gate. I mean, there will be a wing to one side and another to this side, so that we can always open half of the gate instead of having to carry the whole gate. And when we construct a one-way gate, it will be too heavy for children to be pushing to open, and then that could deteriorate faster. So we intend to have a two-way gate right here in front of this yard. And with that said, we'll be glad to show you the materials that she had availed here for reconstructing. She wanted to reconstruct, she wanted to work on whatever had been demolished here. You remember there's a house that she had brought up here, but it was so small. So we also inquired to understand why she needed the house, and this is what she told us, that the other house that she had constructed to that side is meant for her livestock. So she wants the livestock, the goats and the cow, to be in there, so that she totally leaves that section for the goats and the cow. But this side here, the opposite side that you see to this side here, you can see she has also done some pegging. There are marks all over here. She had already pegged it for construction. So this side she wanted to do an open kitchen. She wanted to do an open, a kitchen where she can use firewood and also use charcoal, because the house that she has there she cannot use firewood in that house. She would mainly use gas, and which is not something she can quite afford to sustain.
All by herself.
Yeah,
She's saying that there's a guy who came and put the pegs here.
under her instruction,
Under
of
her
course.
instructions. When ulimuita?
Yeah.
Yes.
So she got a local mason around who did the pegging and for the house that she intended to do. With what we have here, within this space, we are looking into seeing what best, how best we can come up with a structure that is not as compromised as what was here before. Because what was here initially was so weak and could easily have collapsed. As you saw, it had actually collapsed before it fulfilled the intended purpose. It had already come down. So we are thinking of how best to go about the idea of constructing this structure. The kitchen to the outside of the main house, and within that kitchen she needs a room for the chickens where they can lay eggs, and those that are brooding can brood in there, and those that are not brooding can be roaming within the perimeter of the fence. Of course, they'll be roaming beyond, because it is no longer a chain link, it is a barbed wire. If it were a chain link, it would have been even better, because once the chain link is taken all around, the chickens cannot walk beyond the perimeter of the chain link, especially after the gate has been closed, and whatever leaves, even chicks would not walk to the outside, they would all stick within. And then, now still talking about the inner court, we had already taken some measurement from the main house to the corner down the house. We've measured around and come to an estimation of, to our opinion, the conclusions that we drew was that it is best to have that wall. But now we are suggesting a brick wall or a block, because she finds it necessary to have the place enclosed. But now, while working on that wall, we need to consider, one, it has to be beautiful, it has to be strong, and it has to be something that also provides the security that she intends to achieve. We are thinking of having the wall brought across from that corner of the house all across to the other corner of this house here, and it would have an opening, sort of a gate or a door at the front, and it would also have some sort of a roof to protect it against the rain that would be splashing on top. We would need to do a proper finishing, and we would also, in my suggestion, need some solar lighting, because she's far from having electricity. She needs some solar lighting in that area, so that it acts as some security light. I think there are some kind of solar lights that are affordable, that sense motion. She could have the kind, this is just a suggestion, she could have the kind of that solar lighting system that senses motion, so that whoever moves around or whatever moves around, it would light up as a way of providing security, and that could keep away to an extent, would keep away any threats or any insecurity issues would have been addressed. So it is in our opinion that we can still have the wall, but it would have to be a wall that is strong, beautiful, a wall that is that appreciates the beauty of the house, so that it is not just anything that is done here. I think with that, she will also appreciate that we didn't just dislike the previous wall, but we had a better idea of what she needed to be done. And with that, I think she would be safer. Now, with that addressed, the house issue addressed, and the wall addressed, and even this house here, it would be ideal that it is plastered, because if it remains the mud wall, the rains keep splashing over it. With time, very soon it might start deteriorating. But when it is plastered, it will remain more secure. Maybe to the inside, because the livestock are never so gentle with the wall, I don't know, we could assume the inside, but outside here it is quite necessary to have it plastered and even painted if possible. We also had discussions with her, because it was a lengthy discussion concerning a cattle crash, a crash here for her cow, where she can do the milking. When the cow gets out in the morning and she wants to milk, she would need some place where the cow can stand and be milked before it is released out for grazing. So we are also considering that, and we are working out what it might take, because those are just ideas that she has just floated. We didn't have them in mind, but now it is necessary to have a cattle crush or to the outside here, where she can do milking in the morning before she gets the cow outside for grazing. There is the cow. From the distance there, you can see a cow grazing in the farm, and the calf is here also. It is cold here, so I think it could be feeling some cold. I got to move closer to it so that we get to check whether it is healthy. But the kind of, do we call it hair? Do we call it fur? Yeah, so the kind of fur that the little calf has indicates that it is not quite healthy. Pam?
Really?
Yeah, it
Because
isn't.
it's oh, I'm seeing
No,
some.
and even when you check on the ears don't look quite healthy. I think, and also looking at the eyes. Yeah, there are some things that we learned in agriculture. Checking on the eyes, you can also see that it is suffering a condition.
Some kind of rashes.
Yeah, some sort of rashes, or I'm not so sure what it is. But it is necessary that this is addressed by a vet. Yeah, it is necessary.
It's feeling good. It's feeling good.
Yeah, it's feeling really nice. Yeah, so we are thinking that the little calf should get a vet to check on it.
Unaumwa na meno?
Na huku hivi kuna kuanga na daktari wa nini, wa mifugo. Oh, sawa. Yeah, she's suffering a toothache, yeah. And she says she faced the condition all night through.
All night through, and she was outside. She was out all night through.
Yeah, so we have advised her to check on a dentist, yeah. So that because she says she's suffering some cavity in the teeth. So
she doesn't have peace of mind.
And I've been a victim of this before, so I can imagine what she's feeling. Yeah, and that's why she's seated all alone to one corner of the home there, and whatever she's meditating, it is not quite is not quite a nice feeling. She needs to see a dentist the soonest possible. I think before we leave here, we'll have made some discussions with her on how best to see a dentist to be assessed about the condition. So, Pam, we've talked about the cattle crash, we've talked about the gate, we've talked about the new house that is to be erected to the other side. We've also talked about the necessity to have this house plastered,
Yes.
and the front wall here, the security wall here that defines the inner court,
And the outer one.
and also to the outside. It is important to have a chain link still. I say that because the chickens are just roaming all around, and they could easily be attacked by mongooses, because I think some must be residing at the rock there, or we have got farms and bushes around, and mongooses could just be, and even wild dogs.
Even human beings can be
Yeah,
like mongoose.
yeah, and even human beings are sometimes pests. So we are talking
They
of
can
pests.
act like mongoose.
We are talking of pests and diseases.
Yes.
Yeah, human beings sometimes are pests.
And you remember you talked about creating a boundary between this place, because we are going to do the vegetable garden on the upper side.
Yeah, so we are suggesting that a vegetable garden is to the rear side of this new house that is yet to be constructed here. It is important to have vegetable to the rear side.
Yes.
And if that will be her kitchen garden, then still the chain link that we are talking about is necessary right behind this house to the fence over there, so that
the chickens do not get access to the vegetables.
Yeah, so that they do
Because
not.
we'll be having vegetables and a few fruit trees that we may be able to accommodate the vegetables there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So talking of fruits, vegetables, which are important in children's diet and even in her own diet, going by the kind of foods that are eaten here, it is important that fruits and vegetables are provided in abundance. I can see some good space that is left over there that is necessary for cultivation of vegetables. And then from the outside there, now this other side would be left for the chickens to just roam freely. So this external side would be important. We plant grass. So if we plant grass, it would be a lawn, but that lawn again, chicken can conveniently walk in there. And actually, this is what it should be, Pam. This very house here, we could have a door, because we would want to protect the whole perimeter again. We would have a door right from the house where the chickens can just, when they move out, they do not come into the into the inner court. Yeah, we would have a door from the house, the chicken house, to the main house or to the inner court. But now the door used by the chicken themselves should be outside and heading right into their compound, where they graze, where they walk freely. Okay. And now, that said, Pam, come over here, I show you. Now, to avoid walking into the same chicken compound while accessing the vegetable garden, we would have another gate to this side. Some space between the main house and the house that is yet to be constructed, where you walk in to go check on the vegetables. So here at the inner court, you'd have no interaction with the chickens at all. Yeah, they would not be moving into the compound anymore. So when you enter this kitchen, you can do all your work, but can still open the door and go deal with the chickens, and when they want to get there, open their door, they get out.
Yes, then can open the door again when it's evening,
they come in. Or you can just leave the door. Those that want to come in, perhaps to lay eggs or what, it should be a free atmosphere for them to walk in and out. It also means that this house has to be larger. And so if you find it necessary, within the comments, we can understand. If you find it necessary, we can raise a budget again for this house as well, and define. Even the chicken house should be defined, so that we where they lay eggs,
lay
where
their
they
eggs,
brood,
yes,
where the ones that have got chicks, how they reside in there together with those that do not have chicks. Yeah, I think that would keep the chickens safer and also would allow her to also go about other duties without the worry of chickens getting into the house.
yes.
Someone made a very hilarious comment
But don't talk about it now.
concerning
No.
chickens getting into the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we would have no situation where the chickens walk in and out of the house. As you can see at the door there, one chicken is already inside the house and just walking in there like freely. So we would not have such experiences where a chicken is just walking in the house, and actually there are two, and they are just having such a nice time in the house. As you can see, that should not happen anymore once we have designed the idea that we have in mind, right? Now, in the whole idea, again, even the goats that reside in here would still be taken care of, if, considering that they would just be leaving that house and getting outside here, getting outside here, and then they would be taken straight outside for grazing. And I don't know about grazing space. I don't know about grazing space, but those are again factors that have to be looked into because goats graze quite a lot. I can see Pam there trying to get the goats tied because again, the goats are usually very notorious. Sometimes they have to be tied. If not tied, they can always cause a great mess and cause problems between you and neighbors. Yeah, yeah, and having talked about the goats, now let me also talk about the dog. This home has got a dog, and this dog has got puppies.
A very friendly dog.
A very friendly
one.
dog.
Yes, a very friendly dog. Though Mama Fred said that the dog is very harsh at the night.
Yeah, it is a very fierce dog.
A very fierce one
when
in
it,
the night.
Yeah, in the night, but in the day it receives visitors around.
Yeah, very well.
Yeah, so we've been meeting the dog here.
And it has its babies, puppies.
Yeah.
Not babies, but puppies.
Yeah, they are still babies. You saw they are so young.
Two beautiful ones.
Yeah, those are twins. We can call them twins.
I like them.
Yeah, they look so beautiful. I think I could request for one.
Yeah.
Going by how they look, we could get one for ourselves. That said, the same dog, we are thinking that it should not be a dog that just roams the compound the way it wishes. It should have somewhere where it is placed. And so we came over to this corner, the corner behind the pit latrine. This is where the dog kennel should be constructed. We could construct it using wood. We could purchase one that is already made so that it is just carried and brought over. Usually they are a little expensive and more expensive to transport. And they're only in Migori town. And from here to Migori is about, could it be around 30 kilometers?
Oh, 30 or 40, that place is far.
Yeah, very far. Yeah, so carrying it over could be a great problem. But we can consider constructing. The same materials that may construct that wall are the materials we would use for the kennel here, so that the dog also, its movement is limited. The only time it is seen outside is the time everything has been closed up, so that it is left to move around the compound to provide security, because if it can't provide security, then what is it for?
Yeah, and for the safety of her puppies as well.
Yeah, and for the safety of the puppies.
Right now they're sleeping next to that hole where the toilet used to be. I don't know whether it was a toilet.
The old toilet.
The old toilet. So
now it
puppies,
went and dug some sort of a cave.
A cave, yeah.
Yeah, and so the puppies are hidden in that particular cave. Yeah. But now it is a kind
and
of cave.
It's creative.
Yeah, very creative dog. Yeah, creating that cave that you see there is not quite easy. And so with the dog placed in its with the dog in its place, and also the cow taken care of, and the goats issue addressed appropriately. When they leave this structure you see behind me, they should just be going outside to graze. They have no other business, no single business at all. That is why once they leave their structure there, let me call it their house there, they would just be directed into grazing ground, so that because of them being so notorious, if they are just left there, they can cause more problems, destroying young plants and moving up and down, and they've got a good appetite. They can eat virtually anything that they come across.
They're very destructive.
Very destructive. Yeah, so with the goats issue addressed and the chicken issue addressed, you heard that if we implement our idea fully, you would not see chickens walking around anywhere in this compound. They will just be living, walking within their very own compound and finding their way back into the house without having to move in and around the gate, because they could be picking diseases that could affect the whole flock. But when they are enclosed there, then it means that the only person who interacts with the chickens is their handler. Yeah, but not just anyone. And it also means that limiting their interaction with the people outside here, you are limiting chances of them getting infected, because chicken diseases are just all over here. Yeah, and a single sick chicken, or if a single chicken picks any diseases out there, it would infect the whole flock, and she could be on the loss. Or even mites and such conditions. And when they are there, they are even easier to handle. They are easier to give medicine, because even their food, the food they pick here and there is limited. Yeah, so it would be safe with the chickens. And then the section of the vegetables would also be very safe, because we said we would open up another gate that leads to that section, and that gate can be closed so that everything is just so secure. And that is all that we have for you. Your comments will inform us on what direction to go with the whole idea. We are standing right behind the Kengariso famous hill.
Stone. It's not a hill, it's a stone.
It is not a stone, it is a rock.
It's a rock. Oh, not even a stone, it's a rock. Yeah, it's a rock.
And again, it is a rock on a hill. Yeah, I'm right, it is a hill. Isn't it a hill?
Is it a hill? No, that's a group of stones. That's a group of rocks making a hill. So it's a hill of rocks.
Thank you now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is a hill. You got it?
A hill of rocks.
Yeah, and a hill of rocks.
Yes.
Yes, so it is
not
a
just
hill.
a hill, but a hill of rocks, right?
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is it from Joint Hands
Green
Life
Trees.
Trees. We do not have any much more.
Yeah.
If you come across our videos, please consider subscribing, like and share our videos, and spread love and kindness, and help us to spread it a little further.
Yeah.
And more importantly, consider planting a tree today.
Yes.
Whichever space you come across, if it can be, if a tree can stand there, please make sure a tree is standing there. The backbone of Joint Hands Green Life Trees is trees.
It's trees.
Yeah,
Yes, it's trees.
We are nothing without trees.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and if you come from around and you want a supplier of tree seedlings,
We are right here.
right here. We are the producers of tree seedlings.
And there's no capacity that we cannot manage.
Yeah,
We have confidence in our production.
There's no capacity.
Yeah.
Let me say it here clearly without joking, that there's no capacity of tree seedlings you'll want from us that we cannot manage.
Yeah.
If it is a capacity that we can't manage, perhaps if you ambush us, but if you give us just some little time to mobilize our team and our ground very well, there is no capacity that we can't supply.
Sure.
Tell us you want 7 million tree seedlings, we will settle for that and
Within
ensure
a period
you.
Of time.
Within a period of time, it will be availed.
Yeah.
Because that is one sector we've been in for years, and we understand it. We've been through its challenges, and we've been through its ups and downs. We understand it just so well. So we are that source of your tree seedlings, ornamental tree seedlings, indigenous
Fruit
African
trees.
tree seedlings, the tree seedlings that we only used to see several decades ago that are lost. Get in touch with us, we can ensure that you get them. Fruit trees,
Yes.
avocados,
We have
apples,
shrubs as well.
mangoes, and we also have shrubs, yeah, and ornamental plants, so many palm trees,
Mama Fred,
and all such. Yeah, and we also have Mama Fred here. She wants to go
She
Thai.
isn't feeling well. She's not feeling well.
Yeah, unaelewa kwamba hausikii vizuri, hata furaha haiko.
Hakuna haki.
Yeah,
not
lakini
happy
unaweza
today.
jikakamua uwapungie mkono.
Sema tu kitu.
Oh, asante. Yeah, she's not feeling so well, but I believe she'll get well. Yeah, I've also been through dental problems before, but I was assisted, so I can advise her on what to do to get assisted. That is all. From Joint Hands Green Life Trees, we bye bye. See you in our next video.